Guys, you need to pay close attention to her job history. Her job history is her dating history. In particular, you need to ask yourself how she ends her relationships. If you are dealing with a woman who is conflict avoidant, run.
Some truths don't become obvious until a few years have passed. First, people laugh at them. Then they argue with them. But eventually, they start living them. That's why so many people have suddenly started saying the same thing. Kevin Samuels was right. But here's what I think most people still misunderstand. They think this conversation is about a specific internet personality. I don't think it is, to be honest. People assume Kevin became famous simply because he talked about dating. Thousands of people talk about dating every single day. He became a cultural phenomenon because, again and again, he pushed people towards the same uncomfortable question. Do your expectations meet reality?
54% of black men in this country, single, childless, 61 in the middle class, but you all got to think that there aren't no men out there to justify why you're alone. You're alone, not because they're not enough men. You're alone because you're unfit.
What do you wish someone had told you about dating like in your 40s and 50s back then?
You know, you think that when you're ready to settle down, that there's always going to be a lot of supply on the shelves, and it's not. Like at this age, a lot of the good guys are married or taken because they're good guys. In our youth, we think, oh, there's always going to be an endless supply. I can wait till tomorrow. Don't put off your happiness waiting. You know, if you find that good person, like a lot of times we wait, well, it's not the right time. It's never going to be like the right time. I probably have overlooked a good candidate before.
Why is that though?
Me thinking the timing thing, maybe prioritizing career.
Kevin Samuels didn't become controversial because he judged people. He became controversial because he asked people to judge themselves. And that is the exact pivot we are finally forced to look at. Look around. The proof isn't in an old live stream or a viral clip. It's in the quiet, frustrating pattern we are all living through right now. We've never lived in a time where appearances matter this much. Imagine sitting in your car after a long day of work. You pick up your phone. In less than 60 seconds of scrolling, you've seen 3 engagements, 2 luxury vacations, someone explaining why they deserve a partner making mid-6 figures, and another person declaring that there are no good people left to marry. And before you even realize it, your expectations have changed. It sounds effortless when you're looking at a screen. But out here in the real world, people are running into a wall that no amount of online confidence can fix. There simply aren't enough human beings on the planet who fit the picture we built in our heads. We want all the perks of a deep traditional commitment, but we also want the absolute freedom of being single. And we're genuinely surprised when those two desires cannot occupy the same space.
Kevin Samuels was right. I hate to admit that so much. But gotta give credit where credit is due. Kevin Samuels was right. Ladies, winter is coming. And last night proved to me that I need a man. For real. Because I almost died in my room. It was 30 degrees in Houston last night. My toes almost froze off. Unfortunately, we got to stop with this strong, independent bullshit because when it gets cold outside, we cannot cuddle up with our independence. Okay? Yes, I have an amazing blanket and central heat and all that stuff. I didn't turn the central heat on last night because I didn't know it was going to be so cold, but that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is, I should have been cuddling up with my man. Okay? I should have been increasing my body heat when it was cold. But you know what I was doing? Laying my strong, independent, stupid ass in the bed by myself. Now, let me tell you something. I'm done being single. I've been saying this for months and I'm so serious. I am done being single. I want to love and cater on somebody with warm flesh. Okay? I want to honor and respect somebody who can keep me warm. I'm sorry. Y'all got this single shit by yourself. I am done with it. I am done with it. It is so bad right now that I might go ahead and go to the gas station and scoop up that homeless man that proposes to me every time I fill my tank up. I mean, I could tell if I clean him up a little bit, give him a little haircut, he might be kind of fine. Okay? That's how cold I was last night.
Let me paint the picture of what this actually looks like for a lot of men right now. Imagine a guy who spent his entire 20s working hard, building a decent life, staying out of trouble, and preparing himself to build a family with someone. But every time he tries to connect, he feels like he's walking into a corporate interview where the qualifications keeps changing mid-sentence. One of the reasons Kevin became controversial is because he would ask callers questions that they weren't expecting, because they forced people to compare the life they wanted with the life they actually built. Right now, many men feel most engaged in a relationship when they believe they have a meaningful role to play. When that sense of purpose fades, some begin to pull away. Their intentions are questioned before they're even fully understood, and they feel like their value is calculated entirely by their financial output, while their emotional stability and their peace are being treated as an afterthought. So, a lot of men didn't disappear, they just got quiet. After enough disappointments, some stop pursuing entirely. They stop explaining themselves. They choose peace. Now, let's look at the other side, because the frustration isn't just one-sided. Think about the woman who did everything that she was supposed to do. She got the degree, she built a stable career, and she established a life that she's genuinely proud of. A lot of women expected that becoming more independent would also make finding companionship easier. For many, it hasn't worked out that way.
Hey y'all, I just wanted to take a moment real quick to be very transparent and just have a moment of accountability. I know I'm gonna get some heat for this, but that's okay. So I realized some of the mistakes that I made in my early 20s. So I had met a few good guys that actually wanted to date me. And I was like, no, like he's corny. Like, no, he ain't got no swag. He ain't got that. Nah, not my type. Sorry. No, thank you. Not interested. So I went after what I thought was my type. You know, the guy with a little edge. No, bad boy, got a little side to him, you know, tattoos and all of that good stuff. The interesting, mysterious guy. And I told y'all a lot about my toxic relationship. And man, after I went and took my ass over to where I thought the grass was greener on the other side, only thing that was on that side was trauma, mental abuse, and boy, did I get dragged through the mud. You jump in my comments and make an example out of me. I want y'all to know something. I left those relationships traumatized, not with no kids. A win is a win. So I'm with the good guy now. Yep. And now I realize I was wrong. And now I want the good guy now to come into my life. I am open to it. I am looking at more core values and personalities than looks. Yep. Just a moment of transparency for y'all.
Now, another year has gone by faster than she expected. She sits in a beautiful space, looking at a phone full of matches, but none of them feel real or substantial. She's exhausted from carrying the weight of everything on her own shoulders. She wants a partner who can match her lifestyle, but the economic distribution of the real world makes that pool incredibly small. They built a life that they could be proud of, but success doesn't always answer loneliness. Men are watching women post impossible checklists online or record strangers in public for social validation. At the exact same time, women are watching men completely check out, refusing to initiate a basic conversation in the real world. Both sides are retreating. Both sides are losing. When that mutual sense of value disappears from a partnership, the reason for participating, it goes with it. And when someone feels like they have to completely lower their guards just to be seen, resentment sets in before the first date even happens. We don't live in a society anymore. We live in an audience. We're so busy performing our standards for the people watching online that we've forgotten how to actually care for the human beings sitting right next to us. This is why the core of the conversation resonated so deeply and why it has outlived the person who started it. Some people only remember the sharp delivery, and others only remember the controversy. But underneath all of that, there was one fundamental idea that time continues to validate. Reality doesn't change because we don't like it. When you step back and look at the research, you start noticing the same patterns. More people are delaying relationships. More people report feeling lonely, and fewer seem confident that they'll find the kind of connection that they actually want.
I'm just saying that, the options are very low for Black women.
What do you mean?
And that's
Hold
a
on. Whoa,
fact.
whoa, 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 whoa. Stop right there. You have to justify that.
I'm justifying it in terms of there's a lot of good men that are locked up.
Let me
that are
stop you
high
right there. Let me
value.
stop you right there, man.
Okay.
I need to stop you right there. I need to stop you
Okay.
right there. I need you to pay attention. 51% of Black men are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. So you can go ahead and take that 1980s talking point back over to color purple land, because that shit is factually inaccurate and untrue according to Black people statistics. And go to blackdemographics.com, Black statistics for Black people, about Black people, and they'll show you. See, every time I make a point, instead of saying, damn, I didn't know that, you're going to still try to be right. I didn't know that. 51% are single and childless. That means they're unmarried, no kids. And 64% in the middle class. Damn, I didn't know that. See, what that says is there are plenty of Black men out here who are available to marry and have kids. Why can't Black women seem to get them?
What age group is that?
No, ma'am, marrying age.
And
Those are the marrying age. They don't keep statistics on teenagers. Ma'am, it's marrying age. See, this is what I mean. I'm trying to educate her on why she's wrong on the facts. Even when I made points, she'll keep moving the goalpost. Give me the facts, the data, and statistics. Who calculated them? Well, it ain't right. Look, at the end of the day, this is why so many of y'all are by yourself.
Every year you wait, the pool changes because time has a strange way of altering who we are. People think time only changes age. It doesn't. It changes priorities. It changes patience. It changes wounds. It changes what people are willing to tolerate. That's why waiting isn't neutral. It's a decision. Eventually, reality asks everyone the same question. Now what? Maybe that's the real lesson here. Maybe this conversation was never about lowering our standards. Maybe it was about asking us to raise our self-awareness. Because those are two very different things. One demands more from other people, while the other demands more from ourselves. Maybe that's why this message has survived. Not because everyone agreed with it, but because time has a strange way of testing every idea. Some ideas disappeared. Others become more obvious with every passing year, whether you admired Kevin Samuels or you couldn't stand listening to him. The real question isn't whether he was right. The real question is, what truth about your own life have you been avoiding because it made you uncomfortable? Because sometimes a conversation that changes your life is the one you wanted to avoid the most. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Not who won and not what side is right, but what lesson you've learned about relationships that you wish someone had told you 10 years ago. Drop a comment below, keep it respectful, and let's talk about it. It's been your girl Rene here. I'll see you guys in my next video.